what we've learned here so far is that there's a context that comes with all this technology that is way beyond maybe what we are or what we have been seeing here so far. We've learned that there is a lot of technology involved, and that it has something to do with the power of information and the way things are being transferred or transacted. And also that there's a timeline that creates a little bit of an urgency. And I want to, especially those here who work with me in the self-healing context, just give you guys an overview. We use this as a means to determine the vibrational value of something, you know, like the integrity level, really, if you will. And it's a scale from 0 to 10, and I'll keep it very simple here. Everything in the red zone, you know, below truth is basically ego related, and everything in the blue zone is based on truth. And the current financial paradigm is based on ego. It's based on dog eats dog, control, you know, attack for the most part, taking things away, survival. The crypto world paradigm is actually based on a paradigm of truth, which brings in a whole different opportunity that comes through this. All right, there's an expansion possible, whereas the current financial or the old financial paradigm has a contraction in it. It contracts, it centralizes things in the way that the wealth moves from a lot of people to fewer people. Okay. And you all know this, so I don't want to go into the politics of it, but this is where you can see the crypto world. Now, is this the end of it? Not really, because there's another level, and Sebastian, you were really cool about bringing this across too, that this is a matter of the heart, you know, and we're all interested here, not just in how we can survive, how we can, you know, become wealthier, but how we can become abundant in love and health and wealth altogether, you know. And the crypto paradigm that is starting right now to become a new paradigm is the pathway to it. It's not the end of it, it's the beginning of it. Okay, so to bring all this together, we've learned that it's actually not Bitcoin itself, but the technology, the blockchain technology underneath it, that can handle transactions of any kind, all right, that we are talking about when we talk about cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is just one, and the first, admittedly, but it's just one of these coins, in quotation marks. It really provides us with a decentralized ledger system, which means that everybody can really access all transactions, but of course without the privacy issues. It takes out the middleman, and I think this is sort of the main thing to remember. I just want to point out here that when we talk about cryptocurrencies, that we're talking about 3 different kinds, all right? And Sebastian has laid all this out for us. Just to summarize, there are the coins such as Bitcoin, as a tradable asset, okay, that can be used as a security, that can be used as a currency, you know, literally as a coin, you know, to hand that over to somebody, all right. Then there's the crypto protocols, all right. These are also tradable cryptocurrencies, and these are just examples here, such as Ethereum, who bring in, you know, more advanced protocols, almost like a programming language for designing all the applications. Okay, these are amongst the most stable, you know, like cryptocurrencies that are out there. And then there are tokens, and tokens are applications of these protocols that can be used by anybody. We have a good mixture of audience here from like the US, Europe, and Australia, if I see this right. But most of you here in the US, you know that there are places, you know, like arcades or even restaurants and so forth. They use tokens, you know, like Chuck E. Cheese, for instance. You know, you go there, you pay on the counter, and you get tokens, and you can use them in the machines. All right, this is how you have to picture this, what a token does. You buy a token from in form of a digital currency from a company, and then you can do something with it. There's a use for it, okay? An example is Veritasium. It's just an example, okay, where you can pay for financial services on the blockchain in form of that token. All right, so there's 3 different uses. Not all of it is just is for the currency, like as a substitute for the fiat money. All right, just wanted to point this out. And these are some, just for the comprehensiveness of this webinar and the video that you're going to have later, sort of the most important terms here in the crypto world. The videos, and Sebastian have beautifully laid them out for us, things such as blockchain. That's the technology underneath all that, okay? The digital currency aspect of that, and altcoins. Altcoin is a word that just tells you all the other coins other than Bitcoin, okay? And again, Sebastian mentioned this, there's more than 1,000 other coins, digital coins out there, all right? And then really what Bitcoin is. A Bitcoin is a protocol rather than actually a company. So when we talk about Bitcoin is going to take over the world, we're not talking about a company taking it over. We're talking about a protocol, a new paradigm of transferring data is going to take over the world. ICO, initial coin offering, Sebastian laid this out. This is the equivalent to an IPO in the stock market. And there are hundreds of extremely talented and wonderful applications that are developing right now. And the companies behind them, the startup companies behind them, they can come in from all over the world, and you'll be surprised to see a lot of them actually come from 2nd and 3rd world countries, because for the first time they actually have a chance to play in this global economy. White paper. What is a white paper? The white paper is basically the concept that one of the startup companies have, and that's where they lay it out. They lay out their plan. They lay out their roadmaps and so forth. And if you, we had a question here earlier, what I think about some of these, or what we think about some of these startups and these new coins coming out. The best answer is always like, read the white paper, inform yourself about what this company does. Okay, we covered mining, what mining is, and that this is something that theoretically everybody can do, but there's some issues with mining, such as power, the cost of power. So like electricity, because it takes a lot of electricity to do this. Everybody can use their computer to do this, but it has a lot of wear and tear on your equipment, and like Sebastian said, it takes cooling and so forth, which is why there's mining pools all over the world now in countries where electricity is where the cost for electricity is very cheap. Iceland being one of them, and you guys know this, I'm from Iceland, so this is something in the future that we'll see more and more and more. However, there's also technologies that are developing right now, such as the Bitcoin fork that is coming up next week, actually this week, next week, that tries to make this a little easier and more popular and more accessible for normal people. You've heard me say this in one of the energy updates a while back, where I said, make your kids that sit in front of their gaming computer, make them mine, okay, so that they can actually make some money while they're gaming, all right? This is not realistic because it's way too expensive, probably from your household to mine. But that's an opportunity, and we may actually see technology coming forward now that allows that again. Hash rate is a technical term we didn't cover this year, and you don't need to know this. It's just something that you will encounter in the crypto world, and it will give you a little bit of an idea of the performance when in conjunction with mining. Trading, Sebastian laid that out very comprehensively. There's nothing I need to add to this. We all know what it's, that you can trade stocks. It's the same thing with cryptocurrencies. Smart contracts. So smart contract is sort of the protocol that determines what you can use these digital currencies for, and that in itself is also going to be a huge development here into the application, you know. And so this is the word that comes up with this fork, something that you may have seen in the news, is similar to a split on the stock market, except for the big difference is it's not like a doubling up of the actual coins in circulation. And on the contrary, it's sort of a new avenue that is being opened up, a new blockchain really that allows you to split up the different protocols. Masternode, this is something that when you look into altcoins, you'll find that some cryptocurrencies offer something like dividends. Okay, so there's cryptos that function very much like stocks and that offer dividends. So the word here is to look out for is Masternode. Tokens like Chuck E. Cheese tokens, okay, tokens that or casino chips. All right, a lot of companies will come forward with tokens for their services. Such as the World Heritage Healing Center Foundation. As you know, that I'm involved with this Evolve project, where we are connecting healers from all over the world, and we are planning on creating a cryptocurrency token to pay for those healing services worldwide. And the last keyword important here in conjunction with all of this is the open source. And you will often hear people talk about digital ecosystems, because there are new paradigms that determine this crypto world, and this is why Sebastian and I are so excited about it. The biggest problems here is this whole Wild West situation right now, and the volatility that comes with it, and the gold rush aspect of it. Okay, so there's a lot of people who want to make a lot of money quick. And this, of course, at this very stage of it, because there's very little regulation, attracts, you know, also people who are not integrous. So this we are at the very, very, very beginning, like Sebastian just said. So you still got to use a lot of discernment here and really work here with what's coming from within you. Okay, there's different ways to approach this, and you can say, okay, I want to do day trading with cryptocurrencies, and I do pump and dump, and that's what they call this. No, this is not for me. I'm just going to do mining. I'm just, you know, when I mine as a reward for allowing my computer to be part of this whole blockchain, I get rewarded in coins. All right, so you can literally mine just like in a gold mine, like Sebastian just told us. Or you can just invest into like a new technology and say, you know, I'm thinking this is the new Apple, and I'm going to invest in their ICO or in their token, and I'm just going to hold it. So hodl is not a typo. That's actually a crypto term. Another crypto term is data control, and you've got the idea here. The passion that we have has to do with the open source and with the decentralization of data. In other words, sort of the holographic and non-local nature of it, which is, in summary, could be seen as like an alternative internet. There's something happening here right now that cannot be controlled by governments, that cannot be controlled by global banks or corporations. So this is why we're so excited about this. The problems at this very stage of the technology here in October 2017 is, for one, the lack of consumer-friendly software, which means we have a really hard time understanding all this, and dealing with it is a little bit of a hassle still, okay? And there's a lack of regulation, which will all happen within probably the next couple months, all right? This is like starting now, that there will be regulations coming in from each of our governments that determine the quality and the safety and so forth. And this is not a bad thing necessarily, okay? Because we have to have ways to be able to control this. But as of right now, there still is a lot of power struggle going on, and you will hear a lot of controversy. Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. And again, my special thanks to Sebastian, who brought us this wonderful, refreshing, down-to-earth, easy to understand overview. Awesome. Bye-bye, everyone.